JaJuan Dawson was born in Houston, Texas on November 5, 1977, but raised in Gibson, Louisiana, where he blossomed in academics and in athletics.
Fortunately we had a little bit of land, and that was our sports arena. Our parents did a good job of making sure we had a basketball court. It started on a cement slab in the front yard that kind of was there for a different purpose, but we utilized it as a basketball court. When it wasn't basketball season, we were in the yard throwing the football around, maybe in another yard playing baseball. We're doing a little bit of everything.
JaJuan was selected as a two-time All-District and All-Region defensive back in football. He also displayed his athleticism playing quarterback and running back for the Braves, where he ran for 703 yards and threw for 1,453 yards in his high school career.
JaJuan actually, growing up, was better, he stood out more as a basketball player. I'd say football really wasn't until maybe his senior year of high school, where he, it really started to say, okay, there's something special about him.
JaJuan went on to play collegiately at Tulane University, where he was a three-time All-Conference USA selection at wide receiver.
Honestly, I don't remember a lot of options. I don't remember him being heavily recruited. So Tulane was an opportunity.
I knew everything about Tulane and his football team and his perfect season. He talked about those guys all the time. He didn't talk about, the NFL and teams that he played with and guys that he met with in the league, but it was those years at Tulane that I think were very, very special to him and very, very important to him. That perfect season that he had, those memories and those guys he was really, really, really close to.
During his time at Tulane, he set several collegiate records and was later inducted into the school's Sports Hall of Fame in 2005. He was a member of Tulane's undefeated team in 1998, which won the Liberty Bowl that year, and finished his career with 234 catches for 3,048 yards and 31 touchdowns. He thrived in the offense of Coach Tommy Bowden's team under the coordination of Rich Rodriguez and quarterbacks Sean King and Patrick Ramsey. In 1998, his 94-yard touchdown reception from King set the school record for longest passing play in school history. In the Tulane versus SMU game in 1999, JaJuan had 16 catches for 218 yards, setting a single game mark for the Green Wave.
I went to Temple University, and I always used to joke with him, I'm the real TU. And he would say, yeah, but you didn't have a perfect season. And I was like, no, I did not.
After his 1999 senior campaign, JaJuan played in the annual Blue-Gray All-Star Collegiate Classic for seniors. But maybe the most important achievement in Dawson's eyes was his business management and marketing degree he received from Tulane in the spring of 2000.
I think what attracted me most about JaJuan when I first met him was he had a very keen focus. Football was not his end all, it was a vehicle for him to get to where he wanted to go. He knew that there were bigger things in store for him, and even at an early age within our kids, he was instilling the importance of reading and making sure that they were learning their ABCs and their 1, 2, 3s, so to speak, and understood the power of actually building that mindset for him. I think that he was a constant learner, and he always asked a lot of questions and wanted to know more and challenge himself. And I think that is what is really important for any athlete and any student athlete that's going in and looking to play sports and also be an athlete first and foremost, but also be a student and learn and try to grow their mindset so that they are continuing after the ball is done. So I think that was something that was very unique about JaJuan, is that he was always looking to learn and challenge himself and push himself a little bit further. If it was something that he did not understand, he sought to understand clarity. So he asked a lot of questions and got to talk to a lot of folks and really understand, why something worked the way it did.
In the spring of 2000, JaJuan was selected in the third round of the NFL draft by the Cleveland Browns.
JaJuan knew that I wanted to go to Tulane. I was familiar with it from him being there, and with my academic background at HL Bourgeois and the prestige of Tulane, he knew that's where I wanted to go. And the day he was drafted, shortly after getting the call, he said, "My brother's going to Tulane." And he was willing to, because he knew at that point he'd be willing to pay for anything that I didn't get covered with financial aid and scholarship. And that's where like I said, he wanted me to go ahead and go get your education. Don't worry about playing sports, playing football. Go do what's most important.
He played in the NFL for 3 years, 2 with the Browns and another with the Texans and Colts, before injury cut his NFL career short.
I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio, so as you know, JaJuan was drafted 3rd round with the Cleveland Browns, and that's where we met. We met through mutual friends. So we met and dated for a little while there before we moved down to Texas, where he continued his career with the Houston Texans.
He caught 52 passes for 664 yards and 2 touchdowns while in the league.
He made sure that he met everybody in the room. He made sure when he went to a new city, he was meeting the team doctors. He was understanding, he was building those relationships. He was building that network and that platform for himself, and I think that's accurate. I think most guys going into the league, they say that this is a job. This is what I do. This pays the bills. There's only that very rare percentage that really go in thinking, I love the sport, I love football, and I just want to do it forever. There's a lot of guys that go in and they know that there is an end to it, but there's something bigger than that. And I think JaJuan was always the type that approached it that way, and he approached it from a very humble and a very sound piece about himself, knowing that there was going to be an end one day and that he needed to do something more.
JaJuan worked hard, he was respectful, he was a great student. All these things that you struggle with as a young person, he never seemed to struggle with it. He was always a guy, who you looked up to in a way, even if you were peers, because he did everything right.
His willingness to put himself to the side and do what was best for his teammate, his friend, was so genuine. That's really who he was. Probably one of the sweetest, caring, loving, selfless men I've ever met.
Just a class guy, but a good leader. Didn't complain, showed up, worked, tough. Everything you wanted in a player, he was.
The ability to kind of look back fondly and remember everything he did was a special time despite the pain. Clearly, none of that would have happened in 1998 without JaJuan Dawson. And we know he's with us now, and it's really special to have him here with us, always.
JaJuan's legacy is very, very strong, and it's a testament to the type of man he was, and also to the people around him. He deposited a lot into a lot of people, and so I think that's a very important message, is that, making those deposits and making those connections are very, very important, because long afterwards, there's something to show for that. Those deposits linger, and everybody has a story to tell about JaJuan. They always tell about a time that, they had a great conversation, or that he helped him, learn something or about himself, or, and everybody has that really, really great story. And that to me is something that's just been outstanding, and how many kids that I would still get letters, from kids with a baseball or a football card, his rookie card. And, I had one kid actually send me the card that JaJuan signed to him, send it back to me, and said, "I just wanted to make sure you had one of these." And I said, "I have plenty." And I sent it back to him. I said, that's just something, it's something to be said about someone who touches that many people. It makes you feel good, and it makes you feel like there's this thing called purpose, and people should understand that. JaJuan thought he was going to go join the PGA. He was a golfer. Oh yeah, this guy could not get him off the golf course, you know, and he loved to just, there were times when we would go vacation to see family, and he would go a couple days early so that he could get some rounds in the golf, because he knew that he was going to play golf while we were there and didn't want to take away from that family time. But, you know, he was a golfer. He loved it, and he would watch videos about, you know, perfecting the swing, and he would buy these things on the internet thinking that it would help his swing. And, you know, that was his little vice, I think, was the game of golf. My oldest just turned 14. She's a softball player. She's a pitcher. She plays for Glory Atkins National. And she's been to several All-American events and has, you know, hit her share of home runs. So she's doing very, very well. My youngest daughter is 9. She'll be 10 in September, and she's a soccer player. And when you, it's funny because sometimes when I'm watching her on the field, you know, she runs like him. She has that sprint like him. That gait is just like him, you know, so it's uncanny the way that they resemble, that DNA, how that works, you know, that they resemble so much of each other. So they're doing very well. Very good students in school, you know. Of course, they took a little bit from JaJuan on that social gene. They make a lot of friends very easily, and a lot of folks gravitate towards them. So they're doing very, very well. And, you know, I couldn't have been happier with how they've been able to be resilient in that way.
JaJuan was such a special person that he was going to find a way to enjoy whatever he did. And so there weren't many things I can say, no, he was doing it but didn't enjoy it, or, you know, didn't have fun. He found a way to enjoy it, and that's part of why, you know, outside of sports, he was such a great person. So many people enjoyed being around him because, you know, he was just a happy person and a joy to be around.